Hi everyone, welcome to Thomas Brown Coaching. I didn't actually think I was going to make a video today because I reached my 30 days already, but then I had like an idea for one that I wanted to kind of add to it a few days ago, but I just didn't get around to it. And this video is about turning assumptions into questions. I think many of us do this. We assume things quite a lot about people, and often than not, we get those assumptions wrong. Sometimes we might get it right, but it's not the whole picture. Assuming things based off of what we see or a scenario, and those assumptions can build up, and they can be quite kind of detrimental in how we see things, but it's just giving one perception. It might not be the truth, our own perception. It's just a guess, really. We like to guess things quite a lot, don't we, about situations or people, and just by how they look, even what their situation might be, what knowledge we do have, we kind of piece together some way and try to get a picture of it, and then we just go in a different direction, without knowing the whole story, without having that person's input to fill the rest of the story. So I would say to that, why can't we replace assumptions just with questions? To assume something is just like giving judgment. I assume you're this or that, or from here or from there. Or you assume a situation because of what details you know of it. But come on, with your situation, who knows it best but you? Anybody else might have snippets of it, but they don't have the whole picture. They don't have the whole story to piece it together to make assumptions. So to that, I would say replace it with questions. Nice questions, they don't have to be really nosy questions. Sometimes there's a limit in what we can ask people. Sometimes going too far with it. You don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, but if there's something that, either don't go with the assumption, or be brave enough to ask a question about it. And if you think that question isn't appropriate or not fair, then probably the assumption isn't either. The assumptions that we make. Is it fair? Is it, how do you feel when people might assume things based off of who you are, or what, where you're from, or just what you're doing? It's not very nice when people assume. So I'd say put yourself in their shoes. How would you like to be approached about certain things? Maybe there's certain things that you wouldn't like to be approached with. And to kind of, I suppose, bear that in mind if we do decide to kind of ask questions around it. How, if, let's say, someone was approaching you with a similar question or something that is based off of the assumption that people make of you, how would that make you feel? But I suppose as well, if someone asked the question in the first place, rather than seeing it as nosy, they're giving you a chance. It's just how we see things. We might see, that person's being really nosy by asking that question. But the other alternative is an assumption or a judgment, without you having your side of the story really told. And I would say, that's another way to look at it. They're letting you have your say on whatever that assumption might be. And yet sometimes there can be questions you shouldn't ask, and to be aware of that, like I said, put it on yourself. How a similar question or a question around something that you might be sensitive with, how might that affect you? So I would definitely consider those options before making assumptions about things. What you might think is the truth based off of the experiences that you have yourself, or the perceptions that you've built up yourself, might not necessarily be the truth. It might just be how you see it, but it has no basis of fact. Also, coming from, let's say, what people might say, sometimes people say things out of the spur of the moment and not mean it, or out of nervousness. Or there could be many different things, and to, let's say, make assumptions or make judgments based off of what people say, it's another thing in itself, to be kind of perceptive that people do make mistakes sometimes, or they trip up over their own feet when they're trying to get their point across. You don't know how that person is feeling at the time. You don't know how that person is kind of gathering their information. So it's just to be kind of wary of other people's feelings, and to put ourselves in the shoes of the person that we assume about or cast judgment on. Who is anybody to cast judgment on anyone else? We can't really, we don't know the story behind anybody unless they tell us directly, and even still, we don't know the choices that were involved with people making those decisions, what choices were on offer. So to judge so harshly without knowing all of the angles, or to assume without knowing every little detail, and there's no way that you can know because it's just something to be aware of, and I think it's good to see how we feel about it being done to us and then doing it onto other people. And a change of perspective really, really helps in that. So, yeah, turn assumptions into questions, but only if those questions are appropriate and is something that you wouldn't mind being asked yourself, is what this video was about. So I hope you liked it, this topic. As usual, please feel free to leave a comment if you'd like. If you'd like me to talk about anything else, I can. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to contact me, my website is thomasbrowncoaching.com. So yeah, otherwise I hope you're having a fantastic day and you have a great week ahead. Take care.